Hello and welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Dina Deleasa Gonsar in for Cara DeFalco.
And I'm Mike Favetta. Thanks for joining us. The home of Ocean County Assemblyman Paul Canitra was broken into overnight and his car was stolen right from his driveway. The theft was caught on camera at his Point Pleasant home. The thieves showed up in a BMW with temporary plates, then got in through a window and found the keys to a car that was parked in the driveway. Police tracked the car to Newark and then found it in New York City. Joining us now is Assemblyman Paul Canitra. Welcome to the show, Assemblyman.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Well, first of all, we're glad that you are well and you are with us today. That must have been extremely scary. So tell us what happened the night of the robbery.
So it actually was in Hazlitt. We're redoing our home in Point Pleasant Beach right now, so we're not back in there until probably December. We're staying with my mother-in-law, and I was actually down in Washington, D.C. for business that night, and I got a call the next morning from my wife, frantic at 8:30 in the morning, telling me that they had a home invasion. That people had been in the house, the car was stolen, that some other things were stolen, and obviously she was incredibly shaken up, and so was my mother-in-law. It underscores a lot of the problems that we have in New Jersey. This is a crime that certainly is rising. I think it has a lot to do with the juvenile element of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And speaking of the juvenile element, have the robbers been apprehended or found?
So the vehicle was found in the Bronx, and the way that this operation usually works, they take it to Newark, they rip out the GPS, which is what they did with my vehicle. Then they try and get it to the Bronx as quickly as possible. They put it on a shipping container and they try and get it overseas. I was told to Africa and Middle East are the largest destinations. But if you look at the video, and we had a Ring camera on the front of the house, you can see that they were younger individuals. And in talking to law enforcement up and down the state, from the state police to local chiefs of police at a summit that I held, it's almost 90-some% youths that are doing this crime because gangs actually see value in them, which is really detrimental to young people's lives, that gangs are actually recruiting them because they'll be back out on the street later that night after they commit the crime. And more importantly, they don't give anybody up because they know that there's very few repercussions for this sort of offense. So you're not ever able to do the stereotypical follow it up the chain and catch the big bad guys on this, which is something that we definitely need to address here in New Jersey.
Now, you mentioned this being a statewide problem that's on the rise. So how are you planning on confronting crime like this in Ocean County?
Of course, and I've got the southern part of Monmouth County. I've got the northern part of Ocean County. I noticed it was a problem when I was the mayor of Point Pleasant Beach prior to coming into the assembly. And, we're trying to conceptualize a solution that takes into account all sides and is bipartisan in nature. So what we're proposing is mandatory sentences for juveniles who commit these crimes, but the offer of commuting the sentence and expunging the record if they work with law enforcement to go higher up the food chain and to break up the criminal enterprises that are behind this operation. Because I can tell you, they were in and out of my house in 3 minutes. They wore gloves, ski masks, hoodies. There wasn't a fingerprint on the car, a fingerprint on the house. This is a polished operation, and we need to respond in kind to make sure that we're able to break it up and keep New Jersey families safe.
Yeah, in 3 minutes. I mean, that's faster than most response times for even the best police departments. What, as homeowners and those watching, what advice can you give to those victimized or, want to protect themselves from auto theft or even home invasions? And what aid can the county offer?
This is going to be the worst answer I could possibly give, but I'll tell you, we did everything they tell us to do. We locked every window. We triple locked the door. We kept the keys away from the front door. We kept them in a special box that blocks the RFID signals that actually come from a key fob. They tried every window in the house. Then they wound up using a pry bar and broke open the bay windows to get into the house. They searched all through the house until they found the box and they took the keys. So it's showing that, if it's a vehicle that they want to get, if it's a house that they've targeted, you are, pretty unprotected. And even if you do have a security system, as you mentioned, Mike, response time may be a couple minutes, and they can be in and out as quickly as possible.
Wow, that's yeah, you're right. Not the answer we wanted to hear. Like you said, you pretty much did everything up and down, but still, they made a way. Well, thank you so much for your time, and hopefully we could get this taken care of for those here in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Great, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you shining a light on this.
Oh,
Chilling
I
to hear
know,
that even with all of the right things in place,
yeah.
still it happens.
Yes, for sure. I mean, unfortunately, he's not incorrect when he said it has become a widespread problem. It's not the first time we've heard of something like this happening, but hopefully now with him shining a light on this problem, we'll get some things in place that will make it, I guess, a little bit easier to prosecute those who are committing these crimes over and over again.
Yeah. Well, in other news, the Tom Coughlin J Fund, Champions for Children, raised $2 million for childhood cancer. It was a gala, and on New Jersey's Danielle McCartan has the story.
All right, Dana McCartan here at MetLife Stadium, with Ali Krieger, USA soccer legend. Ali, first, being here to support Tom Coughlin and the J Fund, why is that important to you?
It's important to me to support the kids, and I think this is such an amazing event, and I'm so honored to kind of cross paths over into the American football world and also support my Gotham owner, Carolyn Tish Blodgett. And I think that it's, really important to show support and be here for the kids and the fund and show that I actually care about the kids and care about, the cure for cancer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a special cause, what this foundation and this does for the families that are in need and going through a tough time. It's tremendous just to be a part of this and support and just show my face. I mean, it's a great foundation.
Yeah, I so appreciate being one of the honorees tonight. So my family obviously has a long history with Tom Coughlin and the entire Coughlin family. So to be here representing my family in this long history we've had with Tom Coughlin and the J Fund is really special to me. I haven't made it inside yet, but I really look forward to it. I mean, that's what this organization is all about, are these families affected by cancer. So really eager to spend time with them tonight.
Yeah, it was amazing. They've done such a great job. And I said last time I was in this locker room was a little bit different because it was after a game. So it looked a little bit different than it does now. But no, it's a beautiful night and an event, and I'm so happy to be a part of it.
Such a great event, such a great cause, and great to see that $2 million raised for childhood cancer. That's just fantastic.
That is impressive.
Yep. In other news, Liam Payne, former One Direction member, tragically died at 31 on October 16th after falling from a hotel balcony during a trip to Argentina. Payne had been dating 25-year-old influencer Kate Cassidy, who grew up in Harrington Park, New Jersey. The Northern Valley Regional High School grad posted a TikTok video just before Payne's death, detailing her return to the U.S. from South America.
Cassidy received an outpouring of condolences from fans in the wake of the news. In her video, she mentioned feeling restless during travel, noting her seat was 1D, an eerie coincidence referring to Payne's former band. The sudden loss has left fans mourning the singer and offering support to Cassidy during this difficult time. Such awful news.
It is terrible news, especially for all the fans that, are mourning that.
For sure. And coming up, we hear about a gala celebrating women. Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Dina, Deleasa, Gonsar, along with Mike Favetta. So New Jersey set a new record with 6 zip codes ranking among the most expensive in the U.S., compiled by Property Shark, highlighting a steady rise in luxury home values.
Sure, Alpine, which we all know is probably one of the most affluent communities in northern New Jersey. It's a Bergen County enclave favored by celebrities, timed to 24th place with a median sales price of $3.32 million, marking the first time a New Jersey zip code exceeded the $3 million mark. Other high-ranking areas include Deal, which jumped from 70th to 32nd place, Avalon at 41st, and Short Hills at 93rd. Wow.
Wow.
A lot of big property in New Jersey.
I
Big,
know.
expensive
I mean,
homes.
look, a lot of beautiful places to live. I feel like I need to knock on their door and be like, so what are you doing? What are we
It's always
doing
fun
here?
to go on the websites and see the monthly payments, the estimated monthly payments. Like, oh yeah, $46,000 a month. Sure, drop in
Sounds
the
like a
bucket.
good time. Sounds like a good time.
Who needs 2 swimming pools anyway? Executive Women of New Jersey is hosting its signature Salute to the Policymakers Gala on October 22nd. The gala honors the contributions of high-achieving New Jersey women leaders. Here to tell us more is Susan Dromsky-Reed, President-elect of Executive Women of New Jersey and 2024 Salute Gala Chair. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So tell us about Executive Women of New Jersey. What is the organization all about?
So I've been a part of Executive Women of New Jersey for about 15 years. We are an organization that supports and encourages women at the highest level of corporate leadership in New Jersey. We have a number of programs, including mentoring programs, advocacy programs, educational programs, and we also publish a Seat at the Table report, which tracks the number of women on corporate boards in New Jersey. We've been doing that. It's our 10th anniversary of the report. And we have a Salute to the Policymakers Gala, which is coming up next week.
Took the words right out of my mouth. So tell us more about that Salute to the Policymakers Gala on October 22nd. What can attendees expect?
So at the Salute to the Policymakers Gala, it's always a terrific event. And what we do is we celebrate the contributions of high-achieving women in New Jersey. And we have women from engineers, lawyers, accountants, finance, MBAs, just women who are getting it done. And one example is Marjorie Perry. She's president and CEO of MZM Construction. Another example is Ava Gardeau, who, if you can imagine, is working on a power source for the moon together with NASA. So we just have some incredible women who we are honoring next week. Ruthie Byrne and Janine LaRue will give us a fireside chat, and they are founders of EWNJ, and that promises to be extremely entertaining, challenging, I think delightful, and there'll probably be some funny moments.
So you already told us a little bit about some of the women who are being honored at this gala. Is there a special way that you go about selecting these honorees?
Sure. So we have a nomination committee that gets together and begins working many months before our event. And we request nominations from corporations, and we ask our fellow women members of EWNJ, and we have put together a group of 57 tremendous women who we are honoring next week.
So tell us, the gala raises funds for the Graduate Merit Award Program. What is it about that program, and who does it support?
So we're extremely proud of the Graduate Merit Award Program. We have raised over and given scholarships in the amount of $1.4 million to over 350 women during the course of the program. And who we support are graduate level women who are non-traditional students who are making a change, making a difference. And what we're trying to do is support the pipeline of women leaders. So one of the things that we want to do is support the next generation of women leaders. And that's part of what the Graduate Merit Award Program does.
And Susan, where can we learn more information about the gala and the organization?
So if you go to www.ewnj.org, you will find all of the honorees and all of the information about the gala. It's October 22nd at the Legacy Castle in Pompton Plains.
Susan Dromsky-Reed, Executive Women New Jersey President-elect and Salute 2024 Chair. Thank you so much for joining us on the New Jersey Morning Show.
Thank you very much for having me.
And coming up next, we have a very special surprise for Italian Heritage Month.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Mike Favetta, along with Dina, Deleasa, Gonsar, in for Cara Falco. Thomas Manzo, the ex-husband of Real Housewives of New Jersey star Dina Manzo, was recently sentenced to 7 years in prison. Manzo was convicted of hiring John Perna, linked to the Lucchese crime family, to assault his ex-wife's boyfriend in 2015.
Manzo faced charges of racketeering-related violence, conspiracy, and falsifying documents with a maximum possible sentence of 46 years. Perna, who pleaded guilty, served 2.5 years in prison and was released in August of 2024.
Well, it is Italian Heritage Month here in New Jersey, and New Jersey has a large Italian community with 1 in 6 residents claiming Italian heritage.
And what better way to celebrate than learning about wine? I'm going to be popping some bottles in studio. Joining us now is Hank Zona, wine and food event professional and writer. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me. I appreciate you making time.
Oh, there's plenty of time when it comes to wine. So tell us about the wines that you sent us.
There's a couple that I sent and a couple more that I'd like to mention if we have time. Italian wine is incredibly popular in the United States. I think 1/3 of all imported wine that's sold here is Italian wine. And because of that association, as you said, 1 in 6 residents claim some sort of Italian heritage. New Jersey's got 2,000 pizzerias and 600 Italian restaurants by some estimates. And so there's an awful lot of Italian wine being poured and consumed in our state. So the first one that I brought up is a Prosecco. Prosecco right now actually sells more by volume than champagne. And the popularity of Prosecco, which is made in northern Italy in the Veneto region, really has boosted the popularity in sparkling wine in the country. And I think one of the reasons why these have become so popular, this is La Luca Prosecco. And one of the reasons why they're so popular is because they're easy to drink and they're a lot more affordable than the typical champagne, often maybe 1/3 of the price or less.
I mean, I can vouch for being one of the helpers of making Prosecco so popular here in New Jersey. This is a beautiful bottle. And I'm wondering, there are all different types of wine regions, wine country. What makes Italian wine different from competitors?
I think there's just an association, right? If people are traveling, when people ask me where should I go in Italy or what, it's not so where they should visit as far as sites go, but what wineries they should visit. There's this romanticism and association, I think, with Italian food and wine, and also it's a national identity. The other thing too, in Italy, it's considered part of your meal. It's food. It's part of the social fabric, I think, and we're starting to see that happening more in our country. But it really is there. It's just what you expect to see on the table.
And you're also known for running wine-themed events. What goes into picking the best bottle of wine, or how do you educate those attendees?
I think the most important thing when you're doing an event is to know your audience, know what points you're trying to get across, but also to make it fun. Sometimes we think there's this reputation of wine as being snobby, but to me, wine is social and wine is connective, and wine is very personal. And I think if that's the approach we take, then people will walk away with that rather than the snob appeal approach. So it's finding wines that are accessible and trying to discuss them in a way that people feel comfortable with and not feel talked down to.
Yeah, it's funny. It's Hank, you mentioned that because I've attended a few wine tastings, and when you all kind of come together and sit around the table, they're a bunch of strangers. So everybody's kind of keeping to themselves, and they're very, quiet and reserved. But after a few glasses in, all of a sudden, you become like...
Nobody fears asking the stupid question anymore at that point.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
because they're not stupid questions.
It's so true. You sent another bottle of wine. Dina, do you have that one?
Yes.
Oh, I've got it.
Oh, you've got it too, right? So this is the Alverde Pinot Grigio. Pinot Grigio is the second most popular white wine in the country behind Chardonnay. It's the most popular imported white wine in our country. And again, I think it's there's this real association with even though there's so many fantastic white wines from Italy, white wine grapes too, and some of them are being grown here in not just in the country but specifically in New Jersey. Again, there's this association. White wine, Pinot Grigio, also happens to be from the Veneto region. Most of them, not all, but a lot of them. The best expressions are from the Veneto region. The Veneto up in northern Italy actually is the largest wine producing region of Italy. I think 17% of all wines that are produced in Italy come from there, followed by Tuscany and Piemonte.
Now, Hank, the holidays are coming up, and a lot of people are going to be looking to pair wine with maybe their turkey dinners. Can you give us any recommendations and where we can learn more information about your wines?
Well, I think that the best recommendation for a family gathering is to know who's around the table. Again, unless everyone at the table is a wine snob, it's a meal. Know what the purpose is of why everybody's getting together. That said, you want to have good wine to match your good food, and so a couple of things. It kind of leads in nicely to red wine recommendation. And this is a Chianti Classico. Sangiovese is the grape. This is probably the third most popular Italian wine in the United States and New Jersey. Mike is clapping. Mike's obviously a Chianti fan, but also a really versatile wine with food. And I think goes actually nicely on a Thanksgiving table. And there tend to be at all different price points, whatever people really like. The other thing I talk about a lot too when it comes to Thanksgiving meals, we source our turkeys locally. We go to the farmer's market to get our produce. We go to the local baker and get our pies and baked goods, but we don't think to buy what we're drinking locally. And New Jersey got this amazing heritage and tradition of Italians in the winemaking community here, going back to the 1880s, 1890s, and even in the present day. There are descendants of Italian immigrants who are making wine. And so I always tell people, if you're sourcing all your food locally, try to source what you're drinking locally too. So as an example, this is a wine from Beneducci Vineyards. Mike Beneducci is the third generation Italian, and he said what has influenced him to become a winemaker was when the family got together to make wine every fall. Which if anyone's grown up in an Italian or even Iberian community in New Jersey, you remember that people were making wine in their driveways and their basements. Yeah.
Yep, that was me. My family,
Yeah.
making wine in the garage. It's a good time. Well, thank you so much, Hank Zona, for joining us
And people are
today.
still doing it.
Oh, yes. I mean, yes, we're still doing it. You can come visit us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Hank, for
Fantastic.
being
I'll
with
be
us
over.
this morning. We appreciate
Thank you
all of
thank
this
you for making time for me.
information on the wines.
The Grapes Unwrapped on Instagram. That's a
Yes.
great handle.
I love that. I'll be giving him a follow soon, see what he's up to. And I just recently went to Beneducci Winery. It's a very beautiful place.
One of my favorites.
Yeah,
It's
first
great.
time.
And the fact that they source some of their grapes from the outer coastal plain of New Jersey down in,
Oh.
Ocean and Monmouth County is fantastic because you kind of get that New Jersey terroir, if you will. I could talk wine all day, but we have to
Oh,
go together.
wow. Okay. All right. So you're a professional. I just go pretend to swirl and then I drink it, but you really know what you're doing. I love that. So you're not just hitting the Franzia, the box wine. You know what you're doing. Well, all right. We're going to have to put our drinks down now. And coming up, how a dog saved her family from a gas leak next.
Welcome back. You're watching the New Jersey Morning Show on New Jersey. I'm Mike Favetta here along with Dina, Deleasa, Gonsar in for Cara DeFalco. Thanksgiving dinner will be more expensive this year due to rising shipping costs driven by high gas prices and grocery prices up 50% on many items since 2019. However, Aldi is offering relief by rolling back its Thanksgiving meal prices to pre-inflation levels. That allows consumers to serve a full holiday feast for less than $47.
Now, Aldi's Thanksgiving basket includes a 16-pound butterball turkey along with ingredients for classic sides like mashed potatoes, stuffing, and green bean casserole, plus pumpkin pie. The deal requires no coupons, loyalty cards, or minimum purchases and runs from October 16th to November 27th. With 62 Aldi stores in New Jersey, shoppers can take advantage of this promotion while supplies last. I feel like supplies won't last too long because the grocery shopping is really a pain point for a lot of people at this moment.
Yeah, and that is a great deal. And it's great,
Yeah.
to kind of be thankful that some local companies are not profiting off of a holiday and kind of giving back to the community in that sense when it's
100%.
needed. Yeah. Well, a Hoboken family dog, Ella, is being regarded as a local hero after saving her family from a gas leak. Here to tell us more about the incident is family member Beth Fitzgerald. Beth, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Well, this sounds like an amazing story. Can you describe the events that led up to Ella saving your son?
Yeah, we just moved into this apartment May 1st. And when I first moved in, I started to smell gas from the stove, but I asked everybody and they kind of said, I don't smell it. So I dismissed it. And then shortly thereafter, we went to Boston to go to my daughter's graduation, and my son was here watching Ella. And he called while we were out to dinner and said, I don't feel well. I have a headache. Ella's acting weird, and I think I smell gas. And instantly I knew, kind of what I had smelled before was right. And I said, please get out of the apartment immediately and take Ella with you. And we have a concierge, and I said, don't let them send up the handyman. It has to be PSE&G. And so they, of course, sent up the handyman. And then I said, Liam, make sure that you get PSE&G here. And they did. They called PSE&G, and PSE&G came and said, sure enough, it's a gas leak. Shut off the gas line immediately. And then the rest is history.
Wow. Now tell us more about the dog, Ella. What was Ella's behavior like when you suspected something was wrong?
Yeah, so Ella there she is, and she doesn't do a lot. That's basically what she does all day long. And so Liam said, I have a headache, and she's acting weird. And so Ella's kind of like, eats 2 times a day and goes to the bathroom when we tell her she has to go. So if she's moving around and kind of acting very antsy, and of course Liam's headache, he said, and now I think I smell gas. And that's when I said, oh, yes, I was right. Get out, get out, get out. So yeah, thank God she was acting weird, because I don't know if he would have dismissed it.
Now, I imagine this is a very scary moment, receiving that phone call. And sometimes in the moment when we're scared, it's hard to do decision making. But what was going through your mind when you realized what was happening, and how did you make those quick decisions?
I think because in the back of my mind, there was a gas leak, right? And even though nobody else smelled it. So the first thing when Liam said, there's a leak, I instantly grabbed the phone from my husband, just because I had a sense of urgency. Not that my husband didn't, I guess because I smelled it. And I said, get out. I called the concierge immediately and said, if you do not see my son in a minute, I'm telling you to go up and get in any way possible. I think I said break the door down, but get in any way possible. And while we were on the phone, he said, hold on, Beth. And he said, is your name Liam? And of course, Liam had made it down from the elevator. And so I think my quick reaction was, in my gut, I had known when we first moved into the apartment that I had smelled something. And so I wasn't taking any risks at that point. And honestly, I think that I didn't call anybody, because I know what happens when you say there's a gas leak. The fire department comes, PSE&G comes, and when you're in an apartment, it's a big scene. And I wish I hadn't kind of let that go through my mind. I wish I had just called them when I smelled it the first time.
Wow, yeah, that's a good message to take away from, is to not hesitate, when you smell a gas leak, even if it means a small inconvenience for others. What message would you like to give to other people on that note?
Wow, I hope I can say this without crying. I don't know what would have happened to my son or the dog or even my neighbors. And so the fact that I hesitated and didn't call immediately, I would have never, ever been able to live with myself had anything happened to anybody. So I would say this. I was afraid of inconveniencing people. I was afraid of embarrassing people. I was afraid of making a scene. And that should not have been a concern at all. If I ever smell gas again, I'll instantly call PSE&G because truthfully, once I knew they were here, I mean, they're the experts. Like, why was I trying to figure it out? And so they're the experts. And I would say, if I have a message, if you smell it, don't hesitate, call them. That's what they do. That's what they excel at, and let them do their job because, it was a gas leak and clearly it had gotten worse. And they shut the line off immediately. And that's what allowed me to put my head down that night. I was still worried, but knowing that they were there, I knew they were the expert, and I felt safe that they had shut it off successfully. So yeah, don't hesitate. Don't do what I did.
Beth Fitzgerald, thank you so much for being with us today. We are so glad that your story has a happy ending here and that we're using it to alert others of the serious dangers of gas leaks.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's so relatable. We all have gas in our
Yes.
homes. This is New Jersey.
I know.
Everyone has the public service utility, and it's relatable because it can happen just like that. So if you want to learn more information, it's pseng.com and search I Smell Gas is the website to report it.
And coming up, a new emergency department is being built in an up-and-coming New Jersey area.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Mike Favetta here along with Dina, Deleasa, Gonsar in for Cara DeFalco. Dina, New Jersey's Gold Coast, or a collection of communities along the Hudson River in both Bergen and Hudson counties, has become a wildly popular place to live. And now it's getting a brand new emergency department at Palisades Medical Center. Mark Sparta, president of the Northern Region of Hackensack Meridian Health, is here to tell us more. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mike.
So tell us about the state-of-the-art emergency department at Hackensack Meridian Health's Palisades Medical Center.
Absolutely. It's a great opportunity for Hackensack Meridian to best serve the Palisades community, whether it be North Bergen, Hudson County, or even the Fort Lee region. We're planning on expanding this emergency department by 17 treatment bays, so we'll have a total of 50 bays, which is a terrific modernization and an expansion project for that community. Palisades Medical Center was built in 1978, and it really hasn't been appreciably expanded since that time. And we all know the population boom and the changing face of the community down along the riverfront has really evolved over the past almost 50 years.
Yeah, it's true. Having so much new development and new growth and that kind of population explosion, it's great that you're offering this service to the community. So give us some more details. What are the highlights of what this new emergency department will offer to these residents in the area?
So the highlights are that the square footage will actually double to almost 20,000 square feet. It'll provide a much better patient experience for those who've used the ER in the past and will use it in the future. The traditional curtain treatment bays will go away, resulting in much better privacy and patients being able to maintain their dignity with hard-walled treatment cubicles, which just provide for a much better patient experience.
Wow, that sounds really different. I mean, you're right. Everybody's used to the curtain going between, and now having an actual room with emergency services, that would be something really amazing. And I'm wondering, are you building it as a result of this real estate boom that we're having?
Well, as I mentioned, the last time it was, when it was initially built in 1978, it certainly wasn't built to manage over 50,000 emergency department visits a year, which grows at a rate of 3+% each and every year due to the population boom down along the riverfront. So it's really our mission to serve the community's health needs and the entire Hudson County community. So this will really be a tremendous improvement and provide much better, much more convenient access to healthcare.
That's very exciting. Where can folks learn more information about this, and when do you expect the emergency department to be completed?
Timeline right now is that we will open the new emergency department and complete the construction in the third quarter of 2026. But it's a phased operation, so we need to continue to maintain access to services, emergency services, to our community at Palisades Medical Center. So various phases will be opening over that course of time, but total completion will be third quarter of 2026.
Well, that sounds great. Looking forward to seeing all of the new features and the facility. Mark Sparta, president of the Northern Region of Hackensack Meridian Health, thank you so much for joining us on the New Jersey Morning Show.
Thank you for having me.
That's really blowing my mind. Like the
yeah,
fact
right
that
there on River Road.
Yes, and that you can have not just like a sheet, I mean, even when you're recovering from surgery, sometimes you're recovering in like a hallway. So to know that there's going to be that option, that's really wonderful.
Yeah, some really, really exciting news there
Yep.
for not only those residents, but also, the Hackensack healthcare system growing and expanding.
And up next, bath and body products that are good for you and the environment. Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Dina Deleasa Gonsar with Mike Favetta. Now, a new product coming out of New Jersey, WaterSense, is a new bath and body brand improving New Jersey's sustainability through plastic-free products. Joining us now is WaterSense brand manager Lindsay McLaughlin. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me today.
It's so great to have you with us. So tell us, what is WaterSense?
Yeah, so WaterSense is actually a New Jersey-based sustainable bath and body product company. So some of our products include shower steamers, bath bombs, we have body wash bars, air fresheners, and then something that's really popular with WaterSense are our shark bars. So I actually have one right here. They are shaped like a little shark, which is really cool. And these are perfect for the kids. They come in a shampoo and body wash bar, and then they also come in a bubble bath shark bar. So it's kind of perfect because our whole goal is to eliminate the amount of plastic in the oceans and therefore protect marine life like sharks. And it also just makes it a little bit more fun to take a bath with that.
So you're talking about marine life and reducing plastics. Was that the inspiration behind the creation of WaterSense?
Yeah, so the founders of WaterSense actually lived up in Newport, Rhode Island for many years. And, they loved walking the beaches, immediately fell in love with the area. And they also participated in a lot of Save the Bay cleanups. And they were really surprised by how much plastic there was just in the water, along the shore. And just seeing that really sparked the desire to make a product that didn't use any plastic and was not contributing to that problem, but instead helping. So that really sparked the idea for WaterSense. Because if you go into your bathroom, typically, you have so much plastic with the shampoo, the body wash, so on and so forth. They all come in the big plastic tubes. So we don't have any of that here at WaterSense.
That's great. Lindsay, how are the products made sustainably? I know the packaging is plastic free, but how are they made sustainably?
Yeah, so we use grade A natural ingredients. And we are also located in a solar powered facility in New Jersey. So really just doing everything we can do to be sustainable. And all of our packaging is 100% compostable, biodegradable. We really use the best type of paper for these boxes to encourage that. And it is also cruelty free and vegan. So none of our products have any animal parts in them. And finally, it doesn't leave residue in tubs. So a lot of other bath and body products might have artificial dyes in them that leave that annoying residue at the bottom of your bathtub. But WaterSense, since we don't use any of those artificial dyes, it leaves your bathtub looking perfectly clean afterwards.
And Lindsay, can you tell us where we can find more information and purchase WaterSense?
Absolutely. So if you visit water-sense.com, you can order any of our products right off the website. We're also on Amazon, and we are currently in Weiss Markets. So that would be a great place to start. We're also in a local shop in Chester, New Jersey called the Homecoming Shop. So definitely check us out at one of those places.
Lindsay McLaughlin, thank you so much for joining us. That was really cool. I think it has to be kid tested to see how much the kids love it.
Thank you.
Wow, I love that. And I know that store she's talking about in Chester. So I'm going to have to make it a point to go back just to check out the WaterSense.
Get the shark.
Yes, I got to get that shark. Start singing that song in my head now. You'll know that song soon enough, Mike. Baby Shark.
Soon enough.
Write it down. It's going to torture you soon. But that does it for us today on the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Dina Deleasa Gonsar in for Cara DeFalco.
And I'm Mike Favetta. Thanks so much for joining us today. More news, talk, and weather is coming up after this right here on New Jersey.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. I'm Dina Deleasa Gonsar, and I'm joined by our special guest, once again, Ken Rosato, who hosted the Morris County Columbus Day Parade with me. You saw it right here on ONNJ. Ken, welcome.
Dina, it's so nice to be here, and we had such a good time. The Columbus Day Parade was awesome.
We did. I'm so happy we get to reunite. That song playing in my head.
And it feels so good, doesn't it?
Yes.
But yeah, you know, it's so nice to see that you have a community like East Hanover where people are still community, where they're not addicted to this.
No, and they were serious. And there were so many other communities that came to join. Like you had Livingston, you had the Caldwells, you had Whippany. Mm-hmm. Yes, my hometown Whippany represented. So it was a great experience. All the different fire departments, the service workers, and seeing their kids in the car waving the flags. It was
and that was so important because this is a way of teaching the next generation that community is about getting out, getting away from the digital games, and meeting your neighbors and your people. Look at, see all the fire trucks. How often do kids get to be up close to a fire truck and get to see it working in front of their faces? This was fun.
We had some of those balloons, so it gave you that feel of that big New York City parade. They had the different ones coming down. They had the mouse, which was really cute. You got
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo. That was how could you forget that? All the different kinds of cars. And you told me about the Polizia. The Polizia were there as well.
The Polizia di Stato. They had the state police of Italy, and they had some local police from near Avellino, or from Avellino, I believe, in southern Italy, which is a suburb of Sorrento. And of course, who was there also but Sorrento's Bakery was represented.
Yeah, oh my goodness, can't forget about Sorrento's Bakery. And that's the thing, you got to see a lot of the different businesses out there being represented, a lot of the local politicians. We were able to interview a couple of the honorees, which was really special. So all in all, just a really fun, heartwarming day where you could see cultivating community right there in front of you. And also getting pegged with candy wasn't so bad, was it?
Well, you got your M&Ms that you wanted.
I got my M&Ms thanks to you. I mean, like we say, chivalry is not dead.
I saw them. This is me. I get up in the middle of the broadcast and I said, do I really need to be on camera? No, everybody wants to see Dina. They don't need to see the old codger. I took off my mic. I went over and I literally got in the middle of the street, in the middle of the parade, and I grabbed M&Ms. That's what
you
mattered.
Gave my husband a run for his money. I was like, would you do that for me? Would you do that? Would you just get out and throw yourself in front of a fire truck?
I almost got run over by a 1972 Ford, but I got you your M&Ms. That's all that matters. What are those little sweet things called that I was addicted to? Were they sweet tarts?
They were sweet tarts.
They were.
Yeah.
I was instantly 4 years old.
Oh, I love that. Well, the parade brings that out in everybody. You see the clowns, you see the balloons. I mean, all in all, like we said, a great day. And we were so happy to have you with us. You are a wealth of information. I now know where Gaffone really comes from, and now so do our viewers. So
this is the pride. My mother and father watched. And my mother said, you actually instructed everybody on where the word Gavone comes from?
I mean,
really,
come
Ken?
on. We need to know that. We needed to know that. But thank you again, Ken, for being with us. And we will be right back with more New Jersey Morning Show.